Hello, I come from the Salespilots and my name is Tony E. Clausen. And in this video blog I'm going to talk to you about convincing your customer. Now, when I started out in sales a long time ago, I was told that I needed to convince the customer that they should buy my product. So the whole idea was to persuade or to convince the customer. Now, as I grow older and wiser in sales, I discovered that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. I'm not necessarily looking for convincing my customer. And let me give you an example. If you have a partner, a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, ask yourself the following question. Would you like that partner to be with you because you convinced that partner that the person should be with you? Would you like that person to be with you because you laid out a good presentation of yourself and said, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and if you are my boyfriend or if you're my girlfriend, you're going to get these and these advantages? Would you like that to be the case? And the other way around, would you like that you were with your husband, your wife, your boyfriend or your girlfriend because that person convinced you that you should be with them? Is that like a good scenario for you? If your answer to that question is no, continue watching. If it's yes, well, good luck to you and all the best from us. Now, if your answer was no, I would not like my partner to be convinced by me and I would not like to be convinced by my partner, the same goes for sales. Because if we convince somebody, if we persuade somebody, it sounds a little bit, it has that feeling of that I made the other person do it. And that's not what we want to do. Today, the customers are much more informed about the marketplace and the products than they were just 15 or 20 years ago. So the old way of selling, where we need to present a product and convince and persuade a customer, is no longer very efficient because the customer can often look right through you and see what you're trying to do, and that will get a negative response from that customer. So here's what I say. Instead of trying to convince or persuade your customer, make your customer choose. Now, if you want to make your customer choose, you need to do it in a way where the customer actually have a free choice. So you have to open up the option of the customer saying no. Yes, that's correct. So you actually now have to, instead of going to your customers trying to convince or persuade them, actually going to your customers and say, what will make you choose? Now, if you want to know how we do this in the Salespilots, look at the video blog, The 5 Good Questions, which is basically what we do in the 5 questions. We help the customer to understand the customer's self and the customer's situation. Because most of the time, customers actually have no overview of their own situation, nor do they exactly know what they want. So here's my advice. Instead of trying to convince or persuade your customer, have focus on having the customer making a choice. The customers of today, they want to choose a product because then they have ownership on that choice. They do not want to be convinced.
So you should stop trying to convince or persuade your customer. Start making the customer choose you or choose not to use you. It's actually better for you to get a clear no than a weak maybe. We recommend you help the customer to understand himself better by using the 5 questions. Now, as the 5 questions come along here, it's very important for me to say it's not a system that you just have to follow. It is a way to ask questions. So you ask the question, then you listen. If you use the 5 questions, you will discover that you will help the customer to understand him or herself a lot better.
I hope this little blog helped you navigate much better out there in the reality of sales. All the best to you and your sale.